that if you worked hard, stayed loyal, and trusted the people around you, everything would fall into place. But I was wrong. Everything I thought I knew about life was wrong. And it took losing almost everything to finally realize it. You don't realize it when you're young, but life has a way of teaching lessons that aren't in any book. Lessons that come with pain, betrayal, and moments that make you question everything you've ever believed. I was 19 at the time. I had just finished school, trying to figure out what to do with my life. I had a few friends I thought I could trust, a family who supported me, and a job that I believed would be my stepping stone. I felt prepared for adulthood. I believed in fairness. I believed that being responsible, hardworking, and kind would keep life predictable. I believed in rules, but life doesn't work that way. At first, it was tiny things, a coworker taking credit for my ideas, a friend canceling plans at the last minute, but expecting me to be there. I brushed it off, thinking it was just bad luck. But deep down, I started noticing patterns. Things didn't feel right. I remember one evening staying late at work. I had just finished a big project I'd poured all my energy into. I felt proud, exhausted, and hopeful. I thought this would be the moment that opened doors for me. I was wrong. The next morning, I was called into my manager's office. I walked in feeling confident, expecting praise. Instead, I was told I was being let go. No warning, no explanation that made sense. My heart sank. My mind raced. I remember thinking, how is this possible? I worked harder than anyone else. I did everything right. Walking out of that office, I felt like the world had flipped upside down. I felt betrayed, confused, angry. I replayed every interaction, every decision I'd made, asking myself, where did I go wrong? But there was no answer. Life had just moved on without me. I remember sitting in my car afterward, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. I felt small, powerless, like a character in someone else's story. And for hours, I couldn't stop asking myself, why me? What did I do wrong? For weeks, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every night, I lay awake, replaying the moment over and over. I felt foolish for believing life would reward me for my effort. I felt betrayed by people I trusted. I felt lost. But amid the despair, a small voice inside me whispered, "Figure it out. Don't give up. You can't rely on anyone else." I began writing down every thought, every feeling. I reflected on my decisions, my values, my expectations. Slowly, I realized that maybe life wasn't broken. Maybe my assumptions were. I began to rebuild my life, step by step. I applied for new jobs, explored things I had ignored before, new skills, hobbies, and relationships with people who didn't drain me. I learned to set boundaries. I learned to trust my instincts instead of blindly trusting others. I remember walking through the city late one night, feeling lost again when I stopped at a bridge and looked at the water. I thought about all the doors that had closed, all the people who had let me down, and for the first time, I felt free. Free because I realized the rules I'd been living by weren't real. I had been following someone else's version of life, and it had failed me. Now I could write my own. Everything I thought I knew about life was wrong. And that realization changed me completely. I stopped relying on luck, fairness, or people who didn't have my back. I started relying on myself. I celebrated small victories, learned from failures, and discovered strengths I didn't know I had. I remember the day I landed a new opportunity, not the one I thought I deserved, but one that allowed me to grow. I felt pride, not just because of the opportunity, but because I had survived the fall. I had faced the truth about life and chose to keep going anyway. So if you're watching this and life has betrayed you, if everything you believed is crumbling, know this: it's not the end, it's the beginning. It's the moment you stop depending on illusions and start depending on yourself. Everything I thought I knew about life was wrong. But because it was wrong, I found my own way. I built my own rules. I stopped expecting life to be fair and started preparing myself to survive, to thrive, and to succeed on my own terms. Life isn't fair. People will disappoint you. Opportunities will vanish. But you have a choice: crumble under the weight of it all, or rise stronger than you ever imagined. That's what I did.